Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profit. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women and men around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients, because many can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You will learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle to ignite your sales, and unleash lasting profits. You will also have the opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. I'm going to start with a story. It is about a prospect who was a referral from a past client. Our first discussion went incredibly well, and the prospect was literally leaping at the opportunity to work with us. He agreed to all the deal points and wanted to get started ASAP. What happened next was like Lucy Van Pelt yanking the football away as Charlie Brown comes running up to kick the ball. So if you've ever seen any of the Peanuts shows, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there we were, after setting up the entire implementation roadmap and beginning work with the client. He came back and asked to change the payment schedule. Okay, that happens. We can work it out. Until he told us that what he wanted to do was to move forward with our work and only pay us if he thought he received his expected value. If not, he would adjust the payment to his perceived value or not pay at all. This was a new one. I mean, wow. And it's not that I have not encountered a seemingly stupid question by a smart individual before. This was more. And I really felt that oomph of impact as I was thrown for a loop and literally found myself lying on the ground, looking up, wondering, what the heck just happened? And truth be told, I was seriously ticked off. We had already begun work and he was pulling this crap. However, I've never been one to burn bridges. It just doesn't work. In the long run, it somehow maybe you feel better in that moment, but it always comes back to bite you. It's always better to gracefully exit stage left. Now, in that moment, I needed to respond. This was a real pickle. And with a deep breath and a pause, I answered and tried to find common ground. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, there was no path forward. We parted with our dignity intact, and I added a new war story to my quiver. So last week on Get More Clients, I shared why confidence and the powerful pause are crucial to resolve objections. So I did resolve that, but we just parted ways. And today I'm going to discuss 6 secrets to handle stupid questions from smart people. There it is, the tie-in. So during the sales process, we have all encountered a question that is seemingly from left field. The inquiry could even appear pointless or just downright weird, maybe combative. This is when we demonstrate our communication moxie. It's time to stop and take a moment to consider the pickle. By the end of today's show, you will learn how to answer tough questions and keep your cool. Why responding with grace and respect is vital to building, maintaining, and strengthening your relationships. When to tilt your paradigm to recognize an alternate approach or flexing a unique prism viewpoint you had not thought of. Really, no matter how stupid the question may seem to you, it's important to respond with finesse. Utilizing this strategy will move your conversation and past the pickle. Everyone faces stupid and tricky questions from prospects, clients, and smart people. Responding to this off-the-wall question without hurting your chances of closing the sale requires finesse. And this is the same if you have a difficult conversation with a coworker, peer, boss, a family member. The key is to maintain your professionalism while responding with grace. Years ago, I developed an acronym to deal with stupid questions from smart people. It's PICKLE. If you haven't noticed, I've said pickle a lot because you are in a pickle, a tough spot, seemingly lost in a morass of craziness. Utilizing this strategy of 6 secrets will move your conversation forward and past the pickle of a stupid question. So let's go through the acronym. P equals pause. Pause and gather yourself before responding. You've all heard me talk about the powerful pause and how important they are in sales and in your life. Stay calm. Count to 10 if you have to. Don't jump in to close a silent gap. That's a tactic that's used to make you say anything. So stand in your own power and let the silence sit there. It's okay. Tune into your fight, flight, or freeze response. So just like in my story, first of all, I had the sort of the immediate freeze, like, what the what? Then I had sort of the fight, like, are you freaking kidding me? So instead, I went with finesse. So that's the 4th one: fight, flight, freeze, and finesse. And this can directly impact how you acknowledge the question. So you want to reframe your response as an opportunity to demonstrate who you are. That powerful pause, which is, can be very brief, gives you that moment to reflect on what they have said and demonstrates that you're giving careful thought to their question. Use the pause to assemble your own thoughts. It allows you time to formulate a well thought out reply and choose your words carefully. Your pause can also create a natural opening for your prospect or client to provide more details about their question, because they may want to fill the gap of the pause. An elaboration is always a great piece of additional information. Okay, the I in pickle is I equals it does not matter. It doesn't matter why they asked you this oddball question. All right, just let that part go. Listen carefully. Know that it's about them, not you, and never make it personal. Now, you just can't take this personally. It's simply a question. So don't read more into it than that. Remember to see the good in the other person. Even if they've made you mad, they're another human being, and there are good aspects of them as an individual. So look for that good. That helps you sort of step back and tone it down. So ask questions to find out what their intention is. And remember to watch for their tone and body language, because after all, a lot of communication is nonverbal. And we've talked about that a great deal in this episode. For yourself, make sure you're maintaining eye contact, nodding, smiling, giving that positive body language. Don't cross your arms, be open. So C is perfect tie-in because it's control your emotions. No eye rolls or frustrated sighs. Be mindful of your facial expressions. Don't get defensive. Your manner and tone should be positive and empowering. Words matter, but also thinking about how you are projecting your body language. You want to avoid taking a protective stance, which is crossing your arms over your body. Avoid belaboring a point, right? Say what you need to say concisely, and you don't want to display negative emotions. And that it definitely is in your facial expression and that body language. Be composed and project confidence. This comes from making eye contact, smiling, nodding, and, really being open with your body. Avoid fidgeting or showing signs of discomfort. This can undermine your credibility with your prospect or client. Now, I already said, maintain an open body language. So be careful that you're not crossing your arms or even tenting your hand, anything that looks like you're closing off, okay? Because you want to project that you're curious to understand their perspective. Focus on the question asked, not the person. Ask open-ended questions to probe what they are looking for. Really get them to elaborate. You want to learn more and better understand your client's viewpoint. So some classic phrases are, tell me more, or help me understand. These can open pathways to a deeper conversation. Your goal should be to understand, find areas of agreement, and solve the problem, answer the question. Okay, K. K is for keep in mind. Keep in mind that this is a prospect, client, or team member, another human being. All right. They have value. You want to treat them with dignity, compassion, and respect. Adjust your response based on the temperature of your relationship. Your response to an existing client or new prospect will be different than to a trusted peer or close friend, because you can use PICKLE in any situation. Flex your style to meet the other person halfway and establish common ground. Now, L, I'm going to evoke Elsa from Frozen. It's Let It Go. So just start putting that tune in your head, whichever version you like. You want to let go of any attitude or annoyance and respond in a professional, courteous, and friendly manner. Don't be wishy-washy, and try to couch your words so they don't lose meaning. So it's really important to not apologize if you don't need to. I really want to bring that up because, we're talking about letting it go and how you're having this conversation and in the flow. Unfortunately, women in general often apologize way too much. And you've got to sort of bite your tongue. Don't apologize. There's no reason for you to apologize. They asked a question, you're responding it. All right. So don't apologize if you don't need to. It robs you of your power. It makes you're dismissing yourself. Instead, be confident and clear in your communication. Be diplomatic but direct, right? Think about your long-term relationship and avoid burning bridges. It's just not worth it. Down the road, who else is this person going to know? Who is it going to, or she going to whisper in someone else's ear? It's just not worth it. And if the conversation does become or starts to borderline on becoming heated, don't let it get heated. If it starts to get warm or upsetting, disengage and gather your thoughts. Set a time to pick up the discussion in an hour. Potentially, if you're there in person, going off-site, maybe get a coffee or a cocktail, or the following day or week. Talk over the situation with a mentor or trusted friend to prepare for the next conversation. That allows you both time to cool down, reflect, and gather your thoughts so that you can then have the conversation. E equals express, the last letter in our PICKLE. Express your answer with honesty and civility, no matter how silly the question or combative. Because there is that point where some people will ask the question to see how you respond. This can especially be the case when you're selling to more than one person in the room, or it's a trusted advisor, partner, influencer within that circle. The other person may be testing you, and they do this by asking, off-ball or oddball questions, or even combative questions. So be honest. I just can't say that enough. That's really stepping into your own authentic and genuine power. Look the other person in the eye. Make eye contact. That right there is talking about confidence and assurance. Be true to yourself, because in the end, pretending and lying will only hurt your own self-esteem and confidence. All right. And with that said, don't be a doormat. Don't just agree or back down. You have to stand up for your values. Always treat the other person with dignity, compassion, and respect. This is another human being. In the end, the essentials conveyed in your answer and how you answer it, they truly reveal your values and character. And these are the building blocks of great relationships. So let's talk about building relationships, because this is all about the response in PICKLE. The PICKLE strategy fosters a long-term successful relationship. And this is vital, since your prospect or client must feel satisfied, right? It comes down to thinking like your client. I've talked about this so many times, but perception equals truth. And that's why how you respond and how you deal with this PICKLE really reflects back and is a building block for a stronger relationship. When you encounter what seems like a stupid question, actively listen to your prospect or client without interrupting. Let them fully express themselves and avoid the temptation to jump in immediately with a response. Use that pause. It really shows that you've heard them, that you've listened to them. You're considering what they had to say, that you value that input and that feedback, the question that they had. Show that you value their perspective and are genuinely interested in understanding their point of view. So that brings us up to maybe they have a point. Yeah. What could seem like an AWOL question could be an alternate approach or flexing a unique prism viewpoint you had not thought of. While there may not be any there, if you tilt your paradigm, you could discover that the question has real merit. So this actually occurred many years ago, and I'm talking with my team, my internal team, and they used the term that they needed to do research. Now, to me, that word research meant hours and hours, potentially weeks of work to really dig in and dive into a topic. That sort of comes from that expert perspective that I have, and also from lots of years of schooling, which all my team members have as well. But literally, we're getting into this thing, going back and forth, because I don't want to do all this, and finally, by stopping and really listening to one another, we realized that they were viewing the word research as literally a couple of hours spent doing Google searches, doing some advanced techniques that we use to get some information. And I was thinking of hours and hours, potentially weeks of really digging in of research. Two very different things. It was literally like we were both standing on the side of a cliff, but we were on opposite sides and there was no bridge in the middle. So we discovered that there actually was a bridge. We were actually, when I understood what they were really asking for using that word research, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. Right. And then they understood why I had been so like, no, right. Because there's of course that made sense to them at that point, right? Because we had found the common ground. We had these open conversation so that we could get to the root cause of what it was we were really talking about. And so that's a really simple thing. That single word research meant different things to both sides. All right. So that is a really classic example that a very simple single word can actually have a different meaning to one person or the other. And you need to understand what they mean by that. That's like, tell me more, help me understand. How will you go about that? How do you, I mean, in that case, there's all the different things to come together. So then we understand that our perception, we're on two different sides of a chasm, but there actually is a beautiful bridge right in between, and we can connect and meet, and the chasm goes away. So that's why this is so important, because it could be a word that sets you off that you're not even aware of. It could be a trigger word for you. It could be something else that just the way they phrased it. So by using the PICKLE strategy, your client or prospect will elaborate on their question. Help me understand. Tell me more. And then you use that information you gathered to tailor your response to their specific question. By taking the time to listen, reflect, and respond strategically, you demonstrate that you value their input and are genuinely interested in finding the solution that meets their needs. Now, for the final piece, I want to loop back around. There are times where the question that comes up is a deal breaker, which is the story I began with. We did, resolve the pickle, but we resolved it by going our separate ways. All right. Resolving the pickle does not mean that you compromise on your deal points, on your worth, on your values. All right. Never. Responding with finesse to the pickle is to find that common ground. And usually, in most cases, you'll discover, like in my second story about the word research, that you do have that common ground and you can resolve it and move forward. And if somebody's trying to, raise some bait you, throw out the fly and see if you bite in a combative way, it also lets you demonstrate how you respond in a difficult situation. And it proves that you are trustworthy, incredible, and capable. So for whatever reason that they asked that question, you can find that common ground to move forward. And if it's a deal breaker, exit with grace. Part as friends, or as at least, respectfully, that you have different perspectives. Both are okay. And they can pursue finding someone who can fit the model that they're looking for. And it's not you. Okay. Don't compromise on your beliefs, your values, your worth, your deal points. All right. Stand in your own power. At the end of the day, responding with grace and respect is vital to building, maintaining, and strengthening your relationships. And this translates to authenticity, integrity, and credibility, the core building blocks for great client relationships. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My purpose is for you to get more clients. Bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. On behalf of Petite Queen, I've carved out a limited number of time slots to invite you to hop on and ignite your sales call with me to see what's working, not working, and what you would love to have working. I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. The fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. And the best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You'll find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, I shared 6 secrets to handle stupid questions from smart people. The key is for you to implement these steps to stop wasting time energy, and resources. You have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success. Say yes to you and get on a call with me. I am truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. Go to p2q.link/win-win. That's p2q.link/win-win. Our Get More Clients program is designed for immediate on-the-fly implementation and for individuals committed to taking action to move their business forward. To learn more about our Get More Clients program, visit our website, petitetoqueen.com. You can also connect with me on our website, and to stay current on all of our insightful advice, breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Get More Clients, sign up for our weekly wisdoms newsletter at petitetoqueen.com, and you won't miss a single episode of Get More Clients. Now, next week on Get More Clients, I'm going to be sharing how to guide and steer negotiations from a strong position. Make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing to Get More Clients wherever you get your podcasts. And if you love the show, you love what I have to teach and train every week, please share it and give us a 5-star review. We would very much appreciate it. Now, I will see you next week on Get More Clients.